He's making lots of money. He's one of the best defensive players in the NFL.
Tremendous talent.
And he's living in a
hard hitter.
And he's living in an absolute mansion in Miami. Now, what could you be so angry about? I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's not bad. You know, he went to the University of Miami. He won a championship. I mean, he was a great player in college. He was a high, third or fourth pick, wasn't he?
He played high school in Miami.
He was third or fourth pick in a draft.
All of a prep.
He did, okay. So I don't know about the school, but I mean, why was he so angry?
Was he picking a draft like 6 or 7?
Yeah,
right?
he was in the top 10.
Pick and a 7th pick. He was like 6th or 7th pick.
Why was he so angry exactly?
I don't know why he was so. He
got a new baby, lives in a mansion, making $10 million a year playing NFL football. That's not bad.
Was always known to be a difficult kid.
Don't understand it.
He had a reputation for being a very hard hitter, a little bit of a headhunter.
Oh, definitely rough player,
and also a difficult kid. He's just known to be a difficult kid. Now, why he was a difficult kid, I don't know.
Here's Charles.
Didn't do a lot of interviews. Didn't talk a lot.
Yeah. You would think somebody would tell Sean Taylor, Sean, you think it's a good idea to live in your own neighborhood here? You've had issues. Well, you know, in 05, you got people in your depressed area out there waving guns. Let's get out. Let's go to Washington. You're a Redskin now. Let's find a place where we can live in Washington.
Making millions of dollars.
I mean,
an incredibly talented kid.
I mean, isn't there get out of the state of Florida. That's, you know, just get out. But they won't do it. I think the difference is, you know, if I was, or Mike's particular case, I don't want to speak for Mike, but if that was me growing up in Syosset, Long Island, and something happened in my dysfunctional family, I'm not going to get swallowed up by gangs. I'm not going to fall into the wrong hands because there's no gangs in Syosset, Long Island. If I'm living in the worst part of Miami and I don't have a father figure, well, then I'm going to take to the streets and I'm going to get swallowed up by gangs. That's the difference.
I think that's true.
I think it's a big.
No, I mean, dog, I know you live in a wonderful community in Connecticut. Are you going to invite a 24-year-old safety from the Washington Redskins over for your 4th of July cookout?
And if he was my, Juwan, if he was my next door neighbor and he lived across the street, you know what?
Juwan,
he'd come over. I swear he would. Believe it or not.
Hey, Juwan, that's not true because that does happen. As a matter of fact, you know, one of the prominent Jets who happens to be black almost bought the house across the street from me. I talked to him about it. Reyes lives about. You could throw a rock to where Reyes lives from me. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. I think that's fine. I think the neighborhood, it will, I mean, our neighborhood has changed dramatically anyway. There are a lot of Asian doctors in our neighborhood now. There's players in our neighborhood. So I don't think that's I think they can be assimilated into the neighborhood. I don't think the people there care.
No, I agree with you on one point, Juwan. I don't know if Sean Taylor wants to live next to Christopher Russo in Connecticut. I mean, I buy it. That's not where he's from.
It might work.
I know Mike wouldn't care. I tell you, I don't know. My town wouldn't care. I wouldn't care either. If Sean Taylor bought the house across the street, Sean Taylor come play anytime he wants. Now Sean Taylor won't do that. He don't want to live in Connecticut or Manhasset or anything like that.
Maybe I'm naive, but
he would be allowed to.
I think maybe I'm naive. I think those days are gone.
I hope so.
I don't think anyone.
The neighborhood raising Cain because
I don't see that.
An African American buys the house next door and they say property value is going to sink. So
but it's
hopefully that doesn't happen.
I mean, in our neighborhood, where I mean, you know, Moses Alou lives in our neighborhood. Reyes lives in our neighborhood, so it's. I mean, I don't see that as a factor. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of Asian doctors that live in our neighborhood.
Bottom line is,
I don't see that as a big issue.
Sean Taylor's not going to Long Island in Connecticut to live. That's all there is to it. He wouldn't feel comfortable in that environment. But I do think, Mike, that we have it. I think the idea that a lot of these great athletes kind of walk through society like the world owes them something, I think that leads to trouble.
I think there is.
And that's our fault. That's America's fault.
Without question. I mean,
they're superstars in high school. I mean, you know, half of them don't have any grades. They graduate anyway. They go to college. They get a full scholarship. They do nothing in college for 4 years. They play great football or basketball or those two specifically. Football and basketball, and you know, a lot of them, you know, go through college without the proper training, and then they, you know, go play in a big, you know, go play professionally somewhere, and if something happens, they have injuries, they can't assimilate into society, which is a problem because they don't have a trade. And the other thing is they feel the world owes them a living. I'm a great athlete since 12 years old. You've given me anything I wanted. Now all of a sudden at 30, it doesn't work that way. They have trouble adjusting to that.
That is a rude awakening.
So many of these kids who are athletes who one single parents.
Those, you know, and I can speak to that because I didn't have a father. Okay, my father took off. So I mean, I grew up since I was 8 without a father. So I mean, I've been in that boat. So you know what? A lot of these kids don't have fathers. A lot of them.
And
so all right, the Joneses, they have a tremendous father and a tremendous family structure, but not every kid does.
That's a big issue here. The breakdown in the family is the root of the problem. Let's face it, Mike. The breakdown in discipline in the family is the root of the problem.
Well, that's the biggest problem in America.
Yeah, the breakdown of the family.
And that's not just a black thing. No, that's every culture thing.
But the difference is, in a lot of times, the white person with the breakdown of the family, he's not living in a bad area. He's not living in an inner city, so he doesn't get necessarily swarmed up by people who want to take advantage of him. While the black kid growing up in an inner city without a strict family scenario, he gets swarmed up by gangs. The white kid who's got a bad family, bad situation, in lots of cases, and not living in that kind of situation, so it's not as bad for him. Andrew in Manhattan. Andy, what's going on today?
Hey, I think people are missing this whole thing that he had parents that were good parents, and his dad was a police chief, a decorated police chief.
Oh,
who upheld the law.
Yeah, no one said that can't happen too. I mean,
no, I'm just saying, but they're all making it seem like he comes from this broken family that gangs were his choice.
No, we're talking in generalizations. When you go to any one person, you can't use anything.
Was a cop. I mean, that was a cop. I mean,
right? You can't use any one person as an example. Okay.
No, not at all. I'm just saying, people are not looking at this. That he had a strong background. I mean, his parents were as tough as anybody could be, and...
You're talking about Harold now, the caller?
No, he's talking about Taylor's father.
Oh, Taylor's parents?
Taylor's father was a police chief.
Oh, are you sure about that? I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah. He lived with his parents. And his father was a police chief.
So we're using the wrong guy here to talk about dysfunctional homes, is what you're telling me.
Well, what I'm saying is I think people don't realize, they're looking at it in the wrong way here. I mean, it wasn't like he came from a dysfunctional family.
Well, here it is. His father, Pedro W. Taylor, is the chief of the Florida City Police Department, a municipality in southern Miami-Dade County, 15 miles from Taylor's home.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Investigators, again, investigating whether there's been a link between the two break-ins and a dispute 2 years ago between Taylor and some men in a depressed neighborhood near his current home. So whatever that means. Near his
right, it could be 15 minutes away.
It could be. Taylor grew up in the Miami area and continued to live primarily in a sprawling one-story house in Palmetto Bay, a small, wealthy municipality of large houses and neatly tendered lawns south of Miami. And his house sits behind a 6-foot white wall.
Right, this is a nice house.
So there you go. So, and I didn't know his father was a cop, so we can't use
so he didn't come from a bad background.
Now, we don't know if the father was around, but the father was a policeman.
He didn't come from a bad background himself, no.
No. Boy, I'm surprised the father, I mean,